Hey guys, this is Ronmower, and this is my second video response to Magus. This time it's about what got me into Street Fighter. Well, I don't know. Well, I was gonna say I don't know where to begin, but I do actually. I think the first Street Fighter game I played. Well, I think I played in the arcades. Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition. I think it was. It's just real addictive, man. I mean, it's just a very addicting fighting game. I mean, now I had fun with Mortal Kombat. I had fun with Killer Instinct, but hey, I mean, Street Fighter, in my opinion, is just the best side-scroll, best tournament fighting game of all time. And me and a close friend of mine, we have argued about this over and over and over again, about which is better, Mortal Kombat series or Street Fighter. He said Mortal Kombat. I say Street Fighter. To me, Street Fighter is just more fun. I mean, the stage music, the awesome fighting gameplay. I mean, Venom 22, a friend of mine and one of the low budget reviewers in my low budget review series. He said that Mortal Kombat, I think it was Deadly Alliance, one of those games had broken gameplay. I mean, Street Fighter, just more balanced, I mean, Third Strike being an awesome fighting game and very advanced fighting game compared to the Street Fighter 2 series. I was never good at Third Strike. I know a friend of mine, he's so good at Third Strike, and I mean, that game is real advanced. But anyway, Street Fighter 2, I mean, I remember playing different versions of Street Fighter. I mean, I played the Genesis version, Special Champion Edition, Turbo, Super Street Fighter, of course, and man, first I'll start with the World Warrior. Okay, the World Warrior, the first Street Fighter game for the home systems, or the first one for the Super Nintendo, for what I know. The World Warrior is just, I mean, classic. You could not play as the bosses, but that's okay. The game was still fun to play. The game was freaking hard. Well, Bison, the bosses were freaking hard in the World Warrior. I guess when they released Turbo and Special Champion Edition, I think Capcom said, you know what, we were too hard on the players. Let's make the bosses a little bit easier. Because, man, Bison, especially in particular, was so freaking impossible to beat in the World Warrior. And then they kind of made the AI a little bit easier in the later versions. So I'm trying to think here. So Special Champion Edition, I played for Genesis also. Very fun. I mean, pretty much the same thing as Turbo, but some of the songs on the Super Nintendo was better than some of the songs in the Genesis. Some of the Genesis were better than some on the Super Nintendo. And so then when Super Street Fighter, when I saw it, I used to subscribe to Nintendo Power Magazine. Now back then, people looked through magazines. Kids and adults, all game fans, looked through magazines for news mainly. And I don't think there's no video game. The internet was around at the time. The internet's been around forever. But I mean, as far as actually browsing the internet from a computer and looking for video game news, you did not do that back then. You had magazines, or pretty much it. Video game magazines. It's pretty much how you found out about news. So I remember seeing an edition of Nintendo Power Magazine. I'm not sure if I still have it today, but it showed the arcade port of Super Street Fighter, and it was called the New Challengers, and it showed Fei Long, Cammy, T-Hawk, and DJ. Oh man, I could not believe what I was seeing, and I was already sprung on Street Fighter series. I mean, I like Street Fighter so much it wasn't even funny. I would bring my Street Fighter magazine to class in elementary school, kind of get in trouble for bringing it and looking at it instead of doing my work. Everybody wanted to look at it. As a 13-year-old boy, I had a big crush on Chun-Li. I think she's the reason why I like Asian women today. I mean, dang it, someone has to call me. I'm freaking doing this. I don't feel like editing either, so if you don't like it, tough. Where was I at? Oh yeah, big crush on Chun-Li. Fun times. And I mean, when I found out Super Street Fighter was coming out, oh man, like I said, like me, Venom, and Archangel was talking about in our low budget review Super Street Fighter video, Oh man, that's all I can say is, oh man. I mean, could not wait to play Super Street Fighter. I played it a little bit in the arcades. Man, I just could not wait for it to come out on the home systems. And when it came out that summer of '94, I rented it. I played it a lot. Me and all my friends wanted to play it all the time. I would walk to Flicks. I don't know if you had a Flicks in y'all's area, but Blockbuster Video was real popular. But then there's a place called Flicks. I would walk a good distance to rent games every now and then. And as a kid, I didn't care if it was nighttime or what. My mom, not exactly a good parent, would let me walk to late at night just to rent a game down there. And I could have got kidnapped or whatever. I didn't care. I wanted to rent Street Fighter and play it. And I mean, I had so much fun with Super Street Fighter. And then here recently, just barely a few weeks ago, I played Super Street Fighter for the Genesis. I didn't like it. Well, it's pretty much the same thing, but the sound and the music, the soundtrack and the sound effects is much better on the Super Nintendo. I mean, the Genesis, they had that staticky voice capability. Like if you played Turtles, and if you played what's it called, Hyperstone Heist for the freaking Genesis, when you push start, it says "Let's kick shout." It sounds all staticky. Like, ugh. Well, I think Super Nintendo might sound a little bit like that for that game too. But anyway, that's off topic. Street Fighter. I mean, me and everybody and their mother played it when we were kids. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think GameTap mentioned that Street Fighter in the arcades made more money than Jurassic Park did when it was released in theaters. That might be incorrect. I'm just going by what I heard or what I thought I heard. But Street Fighter is no joke, and that's why I think it's better than Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, and has a bigger legacy than those two. Now, don't get me wrong; those two are fun to play, Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct. But Street Fighter is just the Hulk Hogan. There we go with that analogy again. The Hulk Hogan of tournament fighting games, and that's all there is to it. And let's see. Then Third Strike. Now, I didn't play Third Strike. Came out in '97, I think. Or maybe in '98, I'm not sure, but I did not play that until I didn't really get to play that until years after it was released. And really, when I got Street Fighter Anniversary Collection for the PS2 back in 2004, I think 2004. I played Third Strike a lot. I'm still not that good at it. I can't parry. I just cannot parry. But Third Strike is a fun game. I'm just not that good at it. But my memory, my childhood really goes back to, the greatest memories I have of Street Fighter goes back to my childhood in Street Fighter 2, the Street Fighter 2 series. So let's go back again to those games. I remember playing against people in Target and winning quite a bit of matches, and then one kid was getting mad saying, "You let somebody else play." Well, I'm like, well, somebody beat me first, I mean, I'm not the greatest Street Fighter in the world, but, I played it long enough to where you've seen some of me and Venom 22's matches in Archangel Zero. You go to my channel, our low budget review series, Street Fighter, or the very first videos I uploaded on YouTube. You can see fights between me, Archangel, Venom 22, and other friends, and Swindoll, and the Street Fighter 2 Turbo review. I'm not the best at it in the world, but I played for a long time and got much better at it. I got to be good at Street Fighter by being a button masher. I didn't know how to do those moves. Those moves are hard for me to do, like the fireball, and I just mash buttons like crazy. Then that's how I got to learn how to do it for real. It's hard for me to do Zangief spinning pile driver. I did it like 1 or 2 times in my entire life. Some people could do it easy. I don't know how they do it, but what was I gonna say? Street Fighter. I remember playing this one kid at Target, Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior on display, and I picked E Honda, and I forgot who he had, but I picked E Honda. And he goes, "Oh, he's sorry," and I end up whooping him. It's fun to be somebody that underestimates you in Street Fighter. It really is. People that talk trash, and then have y'all ever played against people that freaking talk trash and say they're good at Street Fighter, and then when you play them, they can't do nothing. They can't do a special move. They do little jabs and kicks in the corner and duck and crouch in the corner the whole time like a little sissy. I played against someone one time in junior high. They was talking so much trash, I beat the living snot out of him in the game. And he was like, "Whoa, you really are good." I said, "I told you." You know, being a little bit cocky. "I told you." You know, he couldn't do nothing. He was talking all big. You ever play against those people in Street Fighter? Or I hated when you play against those people. When I was a kid, I played against this one kid. As he was playing, he kept on making sound effects. Got on my freaking nerves. So I do have some bad memories of Street Fighter, I guess you could say, but much more good memories though. I mean, Street Fighter's the greatest tournament fighting game of all time. I mean, I thought Dalsim was the best because he stretched his arms out, but then I got to use the much better fighters like Ryu and Ken and Blanca and E Honda. Street Fighter's just the best, and so that's why I like Street Fighter, and that's how I got into it and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. So thank you very much for listening, and so there you go. I'm Ronmower. God bless. Take care.